powered by Riverside.
What is up, everyone? And we are on a roll like butter. But welcome to Popcorn and Beers, where some use tomatoes and others use thumbs. We use the stuff that gets you drunk. So it is early in the morning for them, so I will do it for them. I am Fry. Welcome in Jordan and Josh. And we're going to start with Josh. What were you watching this week?
Oh, buddy. Okay. My favorite thing is, I'll start with this. I love it when the TV's on and you just walk in and then, that's on. I'll check it out, and you just sit down and watch the show. It was Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. What was it, like 93 or something? Starring the Yellowstone fella. You probably
Kevin
haven't heard of him. Christian Slater, back when people knew who he was, and Morgan Freeman, of course, with his. Well, I don't want to. He actually tried with his accent. No one else did. But the star of the show is Alan Rickman. Mm-hmm. He's such a good bad guy in that movie. It's like everyone else in the whole movie takes the movie seriously. Rickman is an over-the-top cartoon character, and it's so good. He has the witty comeback. He has something witty to say, like cutting and sardonic all the time, and it's like a whole lot of like looking at people like, "Are you stupid?" I mean, he just plays it so he overacts on purpose. It's just such a good villain role. Even if you think the rest of the movie might be garbage, he's worth watching. I mean, I would give him an Oscar, but I would be biased. No one has a good accent. Kevin Costner tries to have an English accent for about 4 lines, and then he's like, "Fuck it."
How weird was an action character like Kevin? Like, take a moment. Postman, Waterworld, Robin Hood. Why were they trying to force us to accept him as an action actor?
Well, that's the thing about Kevin Costner. I think in his older age, he's become a good actor, but he never was originally. He wasn't a good actor in the 90s. And it was kind of like, "You're handsome. What do we do with you? Like, you're going to go somewhere." I mean, he's like handsome, like a nice, like a really pretty tree would be handsome. Like
when we only considered white people to be able to be handsome, he was handsome.
Yeah. But he wasn't like Johnny Depp femboy handsome, and he wasn't like big giant action star handsome like maybe Jesse.
He looks like a little league coach.
Days. He looks like a little league coach.
He looks like a little league coach.
Like somebody's dad, but younger, and I don't know. He's not a good actor. He had so many. He
looks like the rich
movies.
guy that ignores his kids.
I always said, even in this movie, Robin Hood, I've always said every role he's played, someone else could do it better, no problem, like easily. So he's just a really good stand-in lead role.
Do you know, Josh? Accent.
What?
Do you know who Cal Ripken Jr. is?
Yeah.
Okay, you know who Cal Ripken Jr. is too? So after this, and for everybody listening to the pod, look up Kevin Costner sleeps with Cal Ripken Jr.'s wife. Look up that story. That's a real story.
Okay.
That really happened.
Movie about that.
Yeah.
What?
Look that up. Because Cal Ripken Jr.'s wife cheated on him with Kevin Costner. And the details are kind of interesting, but many people that look at all the facts think that Cal Ripken Jr. definitely 100% caught that happening and broke his hand on Kevin Costner's face.
Kevin Costner also looks like he could be Tom Brady's dad. So, keep your eye on. Keep your wives away from Kevin Costner.
In every decade he acted in, he looks like that. In the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2010s, and now he looks like he could be Tom Brady's dad. So does Dennis Quaid. Come to think of it. Sorry, Josh.
Quaid is definitely like your angry stepfather. Like, "I told you not to go in the shed. It's not a toy." But as far as Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, I think it's like a solid monument to mid '90s cinema. It was a little bit corny. It had the humor that it's like come back in Marvel movies now, like where we insert comedy into action, followed by tense moments and stuff. It was good. I give it a popcorn, and due to my bias seeing it as a kid, I say 2 beers, maybe 2.5. It's not a great movie,
even as an adult.
So maybe just 2 beers. Yeah,
even as an adult.
Yeah, even seeing it now, it's like it's still good, but still Bryan very Adams. 90s. So you catch that.
Bryan Adams on the soundtrack. Yeah, I am a man who will fight for you.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a solid '90s movie. Like it's right down the line. So yeah, popcorn 2, man. I guess maybe 1. All right, I don't know, depending on how you feel about it. Last Man Down, though, boys, I think you must watch this film because it is it's a new film. It's 2021, I think. Okay. It has a pandemic element with a disease, people die and stuff. It's about a ridiculously muscular man. I think he's Nordic. He's got a strange accent. Goes in the woods to be alone, has to save the girl. The spec ops come after him. It's like someone's love letter to the 80s action movies of old days. It has the corny, like out of nowhere one-liners. Like I get the last laugh type of stuff. Crazy for no reason guns. I don't know. I mean, it's just insane. You see his butt cheese? Taking a shower, and then the girl's butt also. There's just 2 butt scenes. Like there's a butt, and it's like straight out of a Seagal movie or something. Yeah, it's so cheese. It's worth watching for the cheese. So I'm gonna give this I'm gonna give it 1 popcorn with cheese powder on it. You know what I mean?
Got you.
Oh, like one of my favorite parts is like, "I'll kill the girl if you don't come out," and he shoots him with a bow and arrow, and he says, "I don't negotiate." You barely understand what he's saying. And then, I've been busy, so I guess that's all I really watched this week.
No problem. You got a drunk classic on tap. Jordan, what about you? What sucked you in?
Had a little bit busier week. I started off finishing Andor. Okay. On Disney Plus. Or Star Wars minus lightsabers.
That's always what I wanted.
12 episodes, not a single lightsaber. Just warning.
That was a perfect description.
It's a prequel to a prequel spin-off, Rogue One, which takes place right before New Hope. Like many cinematic universe franchises, now they're desperately trying to milk every creative avenue, fleshing out the stories of background players that no one was really all that interested in hearing more about. But this one works. This one actually works.
Good.
This installment, it gives you a deeper look at the politics and like the bureaucracy of the early empire.
You think it's an allegory of today as well?
Like most of them are.
Like colonization.
Yeah.
Like maybe there's a war going on over here where I'm at that maybe this alludes to quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's very poignant. It's very poignant with today's world. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of secret talks, a lot of scowling, 0 baby Yodas, no baby anything for that matter. But you do get Star Wars's old reliable cutesy droid, which you'll no doubt be seeing a remote controlled home version of soon. No recognizable characters from earlier or later in the Star Wars universe, but really good acting all around and an excellent Prison Break episode. I give it a popcorn and 2 beers.
Yo, that had shades of Escape from Alcatraz, right?
Yeah, it was a really good Prison Break scene for a Star Wars Disney kind of thing.
It reminded me of The Rock a little bit with Nick Cage and Sean Connery. That Prison Break scene. Yeah.
Well, I never got to see Andor. I really want to see it. I probably will soon, but it's kind of what I've always wanted from a Star Wars, the concept at least. Like, I'm not anti-Jedi. I love Jedi, but I'm so sick of the Skywalkers Just stop talking about the Skywalkers. Give me other Jedi. Why is it always about the Skywalkers? They're not the coolest. There's so many cooler Jedi. So like I always
That's
wanted
why I'm
to
so
see.
excited about Rosario Dawson's show, Josh.
Yeah, dude, Ahsoka Tano, dude, for sure. She's the best. But I've always wanted to see a Star Wars that just fills out the universe because the world, the galaxy, is so rich, and I feel like they just don't squeeze that orange very much as they could. They just focus on Luke or whatever.
We need more Mace Windu with the purple lightsaber.
I want the Sith. I don't even want Mace Windu. I want to see the Sith. I want to see like Darth Maul's background story.
Yes.
Like I only got Darth Maul for what 15, 20 minutes total. He was in the movie. Like,
no, dude, you gotta watch the show.
Maul.
He's got a huge presence in the Clone Wars.
I know
stuff.
the cartoon, but the cartoon,
he's awesome.
I want live action Darth Maul double lightsaber cutting people in half. That's what I want.
Who plays Darth Maul? Vin Diesel.
It doesn't even matter. He's covered in paint, and he doesn't talk. What I was gonna say is you guys got to see. You got to see Jedi Tales. Did you guys see that yet? Jedi Tales?
Jedi Tales? No.
On Disney Plus? Yeah, it's an animated deal. Really quick. They're like 6-minute episodes, but it does Ashoka. And like it's that I liked. I really appreciated that because it's like Count Dooku, and when he becomes evil, when he goes to the dark side with the Sith and mixes it up with oh boy, what's his name?
Qui-Gon? I don't know.
No. Throw him in the pit, Vader. No.
The Emperor.
Yeah, Palpatine. Yeah. So it does him too, like his starting. So check that out. 6-minute episodes, real quick, real easy. Tales of the Jedi. Sorry. So you gave Andor a what, Jordan?
Popcorn and 2.
Popcorn and 2 beers. Then what else did we have?
I watched a little Netflix quick 3-banger little documentary series called Don't Pick Up the Phone. It's basically how easily the police, or in this case, even people pretending to be the police, get away with shit. It's a very bad case for fast food workers wanting to make above minimum wage, because the level that these people are duped and the things that they're coerced into doing by a prank caller pretending to be a police officer and just going along with everything is incredible. Basically, a man pretending to be a cop calls and convinces various fast food managers like all across the country to conduct extremely invasive strip searches and even commit sexual acts on young, often female employees under the guise that they stole something from a customer. They pull them into the break room and say, hey, you need to cavity search this person to make sure they didn't steal this money, or the police will come down. And somehow everyone involved agrees to this. And it's insane. It's unbelievable. It's also another example of how corporate defense mechanisms are disgusting. And we should all be ashamed for continuing to patronize them. But damn it, the fries are good. So we keep going back.
Yeah, dude.
Popcorn and 1 beer.
Fry is pretty good.
Popcorn and 1 beer. That's worth watching. I'll take a treat out.
Yeah,
all right.
It's quick.
Don't
it's a
pick
quick
up
watch.
the phone.
Don't pick up the phone. Just don't do it. Then I watched a documentary on HBO Max called This Place Rules. From a newcomer, Andrew Callahan, known for YouTube clips of interviewing drunk people, like on Mardi Gras, just going to various places where you will find drunk people and just making them give really embarrassing revelations. And he kind of keeps that same format and trying to objectively interview and analyze fringe right personalities and people about their views on COVID, politics, conspiracies, but with a focus on the rhetoric and buildup to the January 6th riots. But he also kind of gives people all along the political spectrum, as well as just random batshit crazy people, just time to express their views, I guess. I really learned nothing from it that I didn't already know. And I'm kind of the mindset that just giving these people a platform is a lot of the problem and the issue that's going on. But it was ashamedly kind of entertaining, depressing, terrifying. The content kind of speaks for itself. I give it a popcorn. I wanted to bail on it.
Called This Place Rules?
And these.
This Place Rules. Yeah, it's just a guy interviewing people around Washington and around the country families that are into QAnon and stuff, and just kind of letting them just
Oh, dude.
say their
Yeah,
views.
yeah. I've never seen that, but that guy, his YouTube is All Gas No Breaks, and he is prolific. He's awesome, and it's probably the exact same format because he just walks into places right with a microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Might be. He's got like kind of Garfunkel hair.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's got
Napoleon Dynamite. He's got a Napoleon Dynamite vibe to him.
He's definitely, yeah, and he's got the thrift store.
Okay.
He's got a thing on Vice
yes.
talking about his style. Like Vice interviewed him and showed like his whole process, and it's just him and two or three guys that just like they live in an RV and they go places. And they find where the story is and go. So like they went to Flat Earth Council. They went to this place, that place. But he's also like he goes to places and he edits in such a way to make it funny. But also he goes to places that are real. Like he was there for the riots in Chicago, the Black Lives Matter stuff, and things were burning. Like he showed up and interviewed people that they're watching cars burn and stuff, and he just wants to hear people on the street. So like,
he
definitely touches on all of that. So.
Yeah, he's got his comedy aspect, but he's also pretty like notable. I don't know about notable, but he's a worthy journalist type for sure. But I feel what you're saying too about giving people a voice that maybe shouldn't have one.
Yeah, it's a lot of
you said popcorn.
Popcorn. It's Alex Jones heavy, so just Alex Jones trigger warning there.
Yeah.
What was next?
The Rehearsal.
Okay.
And man, I watched this all in one sitting, and the second I finished it, I had to send my co-host here a message saying just what a treat it was. The man behind this show, Nathan Fielder, has to be some kind of sociopath and probably should be on an FBI watch list, but he's an absolute genius.
Nathan For You is his other show.
Yes,
you don't know.
Yeah.
It's a great show.
Very different.
Yeah.
I mean, similar. He's who he is. So, but it's just very different from that. Just the concept.
New concept. Okay.
But it was unlike anything I had ever seen or was prepared for. It's 6 short parts, and he basically helps people elaborately rehearse like major dilemmas in their lives, with actors and stage setups and just down to the most intricate, minute details of the situation that they're going to be involved in.
Ooh.
It's awkwardly hilarious without ever making you feel like it's overtly trying to be. It's heartfelt and insightful. Every episode takes you deeper down the rabbit hole of how this guy's mind works and how, as he puts, his sense of humor tends to make people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You will feel uncomfortable watching this.
I watched it a long time ago, but there was like an episode where there's like an old, like not an old, but a racist white dude, and he says something, and it looks like Nathan breaks character in the moment. He goes like, "Wait, what? What did you say?" And maybe you've watched it recent enough to recall that scene better than I can. But he says something like overtly racist, and Nathan almost breaks character, or it appears to break character, and be like, "Wait, what?"
Well, there's a conflict between two brothers that over an inheritance money, and one of the brothers says to the actor in the rehearsal situation, "Oh, you're really trying to Jew me." Oh, no. Sorry, not a word I use it's not in my vernacular, but he says, "You're really trying to Jew me on this," and that kind of it derails the whole project, and he kind of just goes, "What? He does what to you?" I'm sorry, yeah. He's like, "I'm a Jew," and he just, in his awkward way, he kind of dances around like trying to shame the guy, but also trying to let him keep going
without breaking character.
Yeah. It's hard to tell sometimes if it's just like this personality that he has is just a character that he's putting on, because sometimes it slips and he seems like a pretty normal guy you could like hang out with and have a real conversation with. But he is social anxiety personified. Yeah, and I relate to it so heavily, and I was felt grateful just for the work that he put into it and just watching it. And I give it a popcorn and 3 beers.
I'll keep mine short and sweet so we can get to our top 3. I watched Smile on Paramount Plus. Jordan will argue with me on this. I give it a popcorn. Coming from a mental health perspective, I will say it was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. No mental health professional functions like she does, in my experience working in the field, she's totally out of whack as a mental health professional. Anytime you have someone that may be suicidal, you would always have someone else in the room, and that's how the movie starts. And I'm immediately like, nope, not accurate, but I get you got to do it to have a movie going. Because it's an emergent situation, right? And then, like, every decision she makes, even to the point where she argues with her therapist for no reason. Like, the fiance felt like a character that was super unnecessary. Like, he just existed, was what I wrote down. Like, fiance just exists in the movie. There was a very easy solution, much like the movie I reviewed last week in Barbarian, which was, okay, you're a professional psychologist. You've now figured this out, which she solves the issue, solves the mystery very early on in the movie. Probably halfway through the movie, she knows the answer and knows how this, like, demon, it's a demon that follows you from person to person, and you have to commit an act in front of somebody else for the demon to follow you, right?
Okay.
And, or to follow somebody new. And it's very simple, and I don't think this is a spoiler, but all you have to do to keep this demon from killing anyone is commit yourself and put yourself in a room with a straitjacket. That's it. And then it's over. Movie over. It's done. Like, that's how the movie ends, is her in a straitjacket up against a padded wall, just staring at this demon all the time. That's staring back at her because the demon can't leave her. But you know what? When you die, the demon dies. It's all over. No one.
Was the demon
simple solution?
The demon ugly?
Simple solution. Just lock yourself up for life.
I mean, or just kill everyone forever. Yeah. Like, that's the other option, right? Have some morals. Like, okay,
well, that's what happened in the Ring.
The Hippocratic Oath. Bro, The Ring is Jumanji, but a horror movie.
Right.
Like, that's what it is. Like, you find a board game. Oh, snap. It's a board game. No one told you what happens. Oh, you found a video or a DVD. Oh, snap. Like, it's Jumanji, just a horror movie.
Jumanji should be remade into a horror. It wouldn't take much.
It would not.
Legit.
It would not at all. Just a gorilla.
Yeah.
Congo meets...
come to the door.
Yeah. Congo meets Anaconda would be Jumanji, the horror movie. So I gave it a popcorn. Jordan, go ahead and give me your gripes with my review.
You made a lot of sense in your review. I mean, I wouldn't call it a good movie, but I think I'd give it a popcorn and one beer, because just most horror movies that come out aren't good. They're just, they're trying to get you the jump scares. They make money more or less regardless, of how bad they are. People just want to go. People are horror thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't as bad as a lot of horror movies I've seen. Like, it did some things okay. It had a lot of shock value. It was entertaining enough. I guess I'm just judging it off of a curve of probably like Barbarian.
Horror movie?
Yeah, horror movie. Yeah. Like, if I, but popcorn and beer. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a sweet spot for me with horror movies. Like, if it's a good horror movie, that's like 5% of all horror movies are good, in my opinion. Then it's great. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they're just too disgusting for me to watch, and that's cool too. Like most Japanese films, I'm not going to do it. But if it's bad, like most of them are, then it's automatically a comedy. Like, switches genres for me, and it's awesome. And that's how you.
That's a
you
good way to look
that
at
movie.
It. That's a good way.
Like, remember that movie?
Was Barbarian for me.
I think me and you
That's how I made it through
watched Hatchet a long time ago. That was awful. It was so
Hatchet.
Funny. It was so funny.
Hatchet. Yes, Hatchet's hilarious. With the sander to the face and the tongue. Just, I love that movie.
But in your wrap of what is it, Smile? I realized that how close it is to another movie that it's eerily similar, that it was like one of the best horror movies I've watched in a long time, is It Follows on Netflix.
Follows. Yeah.
It Follows, where you have that dilemma of like you have to do something bad to another person to get this demon thing off of you. If you're looking for a better version of this movie, check out It Follows.
Okay.
I heard that was a good one.
Next one.
Yeah, really good.
Next one I did was on Apple Plus, and I'm trying to get through my Apple Plus stuff now, so I'll have a Mythic Quest Season 3 review as soon as I can, because I just wrapped up Mythic Quest Season 3. But Mosquito Coast Season 2, my exact review is, it is in the vein of Breaking Bad and Ozark without the drugs. Like, they're trying to be Breaking Bad, Ozark, but with, like, PETA. They're like, world activists for like don't burn down the rainforest, everything sucks, humans are the virus type style. Keeping it short, I gave it a popcorn and a beer. I would say in the second season, I really like Natalie Cordova. For those of you that don't know who that is, that's Yo-Yo from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I dug Natalie Cordova. I thought she did a really good job. Justin Theroux is always good.
Yep.
If you guys know who Justin Theroux is, yeah, he's always fantastic. He's a bit of an overactor in this, but he does a great job. I came along with a recommendation of something that I believe is a popcorn and at least 2 beers, and that's The Leftovers. If you like Justin Theroux, check out The Leftovers.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. That show
yes. There's an episode, I don't want to spoil it for anyone. There's an episode of that show that I think is the best episode ever put to film. Ever. It's the best episode I've ever seen of any show, and we can talk about it if we ever watch it.
Okay, all right. We might have to eventually do a drunk classic that's a TV show that you just have to binge all week long and to get through all of it. It's 3 seasons. It is a much better show. Mosquito Coast is fine. The scenery is very, very pretty. As with most of these shows, the children are annoying. The wife is very paint by numbers. Very much a lot worse than what's her name in Ozark? The Marty Fish's wife, or Marty Bird's Marty and what's her name? I can't even remember her name. Gosh,
Candy Phillips.
Karen.
but much like the Birds, the wife is much better in Ozark than she is in this. Wendy Bird, thank you.
Wendy.
Where they're trying to get her in that vein and the Skylar vein from Breaking Bad, and she never reaches that level. It's kind of like, especially with what her character arc is, because they do reveal her character arc in the second season. You're kind of like, and she's a college professor, and she just does something really, really stupid. And you're kind of like, I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to buy into that. Kids are annoying in most things. I'm sorry, guys. Like, the only time when kids are even remotely not annoying is Stranger Things. In most shows, kids suck. Like, I am sorry to everybody that loves the kids and stuff, but, like, get Simon Birch out of my show.
Why are we letting kids sing?
But, yeah.
Stop it.
Stop letting kids sing. So, a popcorn and a beer there. But if you like Justin Theroux, you will sit through it. It's a good. It's good for that. He's good in the show. What's that?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Okay. Documentary I watched on Netflix was Killer Sally, and it is about bodybuilders, both husband and wife bodybuilder team, and there are things afoot, and a murder occurs, and you're left to your own decisions, right? You can decide who was at fault and why you think this murder occurred. It's a popcorn and a beer for me. I watched it mainly because I enjoy learning things about the bodybuilder community. I know it's a very weird community, a very controlling community. What's so funny?
And it's like I'm coming. And then I go to the gym and it's like I'm coming. I'm always coming.
I don't know what it'd be like to eat 168 eggs a week. Like, I have no idea what that life is like. Every time I
bet
think
you tried, though.
Oh, every time I think I'm good at this, like, I'm like, I think the most eggs I've gotten through in a week is I used to cruise through about 36 eggs a week when I was trying to bulk up. So
I could do that.
I'm
just
back down.
casually.
I go through 2 cartons of egg whites. Two cartons of egg whites now is what I go through with, like, sausage, cheese, mushrooms, and shit like that. Not like you
30 Cadbury eggs.
I like a little jiggle.
Building mass, bro.
So, building Always Sunny. That was a good reference. Snuck that one under the radar there. So anyway, that brings us to our top 3 films each of the year. There will be some in common, just so you know. But yeah, everyone does the top 5. Everyone does the top 10. This doesn't have to be in any particular order. You don't have to rank them 1, 2, 3. Just give us the top 3 films that you think people should watch this year. Josh, I'm going to start with you because I think Jordan and my list are a little too similar.
Okay. All right.
Josh,
okay. Well, I think it's going to be a recurring thing that I have to keep saying over and over. I don't watch a lot of stuff compared to these two, at least. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, not particularly because it was mind-blowing in any particular way. It was kind of just like a nerdgasm, though. Like, holy crap, they're in this. Holy crap, they're in this. The special effects were like, whoa. I was a little upset about the movie basically hijacking WandaVision's plot and just repurposing it, but that's fine. But it was just
Return of Sam Raimi, though.
Return of Sam Raimi. I didn't. There's a lot of things I didn't like about the movie, but I thought it was just a big old bright, flashy glitter bomb. So that was a lot of fun. Fun movie. Where the Crawdads Sing, saw that one. Actually enjoyed it. I think it's only on the list particularly because I didn't watch a lot of movies this year, but I did really enjoy the movie.
I'm reviewing that next week for the show. That's on my Netflix list to watch.
Oh, good. Yeah, you should check it out. It's good. You know, it really plays like you're reading a novel, and that's it's not that common anymore. It's like common in the 90s where like this is just like the Shawshank or whatever, you know, like, but this is like plays just like a classic regular old novel, and it's just really well done. A solid movie. And then my number one, whatever. My number one's Everything Everywhere All at Once. I thought
they're two multiverse movies.
Yes, but didn't they play against each other in the box office? I'm not sure. But Everything Everywhere All at Once, I could write a 10-page paper about it. It was an incredible film. Jordan doesn't have much education, so he wouldn't be able to read the paper. It was a beautiful film. I mean, even like I didn't even know what the movie was about, and I watched the first bit of it where it's just the family interacting at first, and I'm like, just that one scene, just the opening 10 minutes deserves an Oscar for best movie. It was incredibly. The cinematography was incredible. The acting was incredible. The tensity of the family dynamic. It was just really heartfelt. And then they threw a lot of silly jokes in it that were just like flippant and just out of nowhere, but it fit because of the rules they made for the movie. My hands keep going up because I like the movie so much. They'll get this high. This is how much I like it. So I give that 3 beers. Like, and I would put it up against I'd put it up against the last 5 years for best movies.
You don't have to rate these ones, but I love you for that. These ones, we're safe to assume they're about a popcorn 3 beers or a popcorn at 2 minimum. So you're good. I believe you. So we got, for Josh, Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange. We've got Where the Crawdads Sing, and we have got Everything Everywhere All at Once. Jordan, what do you got?
I got Black Panther 2.
Okay,
got to throw a Marvel movie in there for my top 3, and it was Black Panther 2. All Quiet on the Western Front was a late addition for me.
You're welcome.
I'm a huge. Eventually, over the course of this podcast, we'll learn I am a huge war movie nerd and just war. I'm a history major, so that drew me to my major. Love war, all of that stuff. Like I'll give a really bad war. Yeah.
Love war in film.
Correct.
To be clear.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yes. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
It's okay. I just wanted to verify what you were saying.
Yeah. Yes. Good catch. But I will give a bad war movie a good review. So be prepared for that because it's my soft spot.
Watch out for Cherry coming soon.
And my third one is Banshees of Inisherin.
Oh yeah.
It beat out the Menu. I watched the Menu for a second time. I really enjoyed it, but it was a pre-production. It hit the cutting room floor. I did a quick swap out for Banshees over the Menu. So
okay.
Yeah, I gotta see Banshees.
All right, so my top 3. I'm with Josh. Everything Everywhere All at Once is in my top 3. Beautiful movie, beautiful story. It's got a little bit of everything. It was one of those movies where a little tear at the end. A little tear.
Oh, there's tears.
Yeah, it's
and also laughter. Like legitimate gutbuster laughter.
Yeah, and then we've got All Quiet on the Western Front, just like Jordan. It was phenomenal. It was really good. I mean, it's going to win a lot of Oscars. I'll be reviewing it here for My Butter on Top, and I'll go through that very quickly. And my last one was Triangle of Sadness with Woody Harrelson.
I've never heard of that.
Definitely check out that film. It's a fun film. I think everyone would really like it, really enjoy it. Triangle of Sadness, and I think it's something where it's a little dark, it's a little funny, it's got a good story, it's very well acted. It's a very enjoyable film that I think most people it can relate. Most people will go to the theater and be able to relate to this film and be like, oh wow, this is a fun movie. I like this movie. I like this. I'm gonna go ahead and say, why don't you, Jordan, because you were the only one that I think hadn't seen our drunk classic. Yeah. Why don't you start us off with Running Scared?
All right, Running Scared with rest in peace, Paul Walker. That sweet baby angel fever dream. It's very high anxiety.
Yeah, that's good.
Definite trigger warnings all around. Just any kind of trigger that you may have in your life, it's going to hit that right on the nose.
Especially if you were dramatic about Mac Daddy Pimps, because
I literally wrote "doesn't get made today" based on what you just said. I wrote "doesn't get made today."
It's one of those movies that just kind of makes you feel kind of dirty, like you need to go take a shower after, or do something positive, like go for a walk and see something pretty. I as well wrote that this movie wouldn't go over well in today's social climate.
Yeah.
The whole time I was trying to figure out where this movie takes place, so I can never go there. My best guess is Gotham because, man, it's a hellhole full of awful people.
I said Boston. That's so funny because I was like, is this Boston? Grimly. I feel like this.
Well, because Paul Walker's accent kind of comes and slips, and then nobody else in the movie seems to have a consistent accent either. So you're kind of just like, you don't really know where this movie's taking place.
Jersey.
Yeah. Good movie. Just really ridiculous. It was my first watch ever, as you said. Probably not something I don't think I'd watch again. And my question that came to me was Paul Walker typecast as an undercover cop? Like, was that his only role ever?
But you don't even find out. You don't even know.
Right. Well, no, they confront him at the end, and when he has the wire and he comes out and the FBI show up at the ring.
But what I'm saying is, like, the whole movie, like, even then he could have just been an informant. Like, you don't know he's an undercover cop until, like, the very, very end.
Yeah.
Which is rare for movies like that. Usually you find out pretty quick.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Well, I got a question.
Popcorn
and beer. In the end credits, the beginning part of the end credits, there's kind of like a storyboard of what happened in the movie. But it's kind of fantasized a little bit, like overdone, kind of like to make it like fairies and warlocks and trolls and stuff, sort of, and like really artsy. And that was because the film is kind of like a Grimm's fairy tales theme set against a cop drama. So, like, the director's intention was for it to be kind of a weird fairy tale told in an adult way. So maybe that's why it was just strange in general to you. I don't know. To most people.
You know why I may not have stayed and watched that is I was in a rush to go do something positive. I was like, I need to go outside and touch grass, or
Yeah, for sure. I
look
definitely
at the stars
get it.
Or something.
It's definitely shock value for sure. There's a lot of shock stuff in it, but seeing it again, I was there's a lot of like who's the Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels guy, Richie. There's a lot of Richie aspects with the film, the camera cuts and the quick zooms and the shaky and crazy lights and stuff, and just weird camera tricks.
The next scene starts in the traffic light ahead. The traffic light ahead.
But it was actually impressive, like with the cinematography. I mean, it wasn't like world class or anything, but it was like, hey, they did some cool tricks. Which like the hockey rink, all black lighted up. I found out that cost them $100,000 because it takes a lot of lights.
Reason for it.
No,
Bro,
no reason.
yeah, there was. There was. Paul Walker taking shots to the face with hockey pucks. Remember, the whole movie, the kid's favorite thing in the whole world is that hockey team.
No,
Red
but
Ice.
No.
Red
why
Ice.
did it have to take place? Why did they have to shut the lights off and have it be neoned out?
Because
I
how
think it
does
was just
how does Paul Walker's blood glow in the dark when he's getting hit in the face with hockey pucks if it's not
Yeah,
under
actually,
a glow light?
I
And
just
then-
did a quick look up, and that actually
Go ahead.
saved the film. Like, it would have not gone through the rating system, but the black lights made the blood black, so it didn't count as red blood. So it wasn't as graphic as it was an accident, a happy accident for the film. So it got the push through on the rating system or whatever.
Okay.
Anyway,
Interesting. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts, Josh? What do you end up rating it?
well, I saw it one time, maybe a couple years after it dropped on DVD. I liked it, but I was like, I think feel what you're saying, Jordan. Like, it's kind of felt dirty. Like, I didn't want to tell anyone that I liked it, but I did. Seeing it again now, it was pretty cool. Definitely of its time, sort of like more of a Judge Dredd comic book, like a little too extreme, but in a good way.
Mhm.
I liked it. I give it a pop in 1. Yeah.
Again, I'll just be brief. I gave it a pop in 1. I thought Chaz Palmenter as the dirty FBI agent was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I love him as a mobster. So putting him in the role now as a dirty FBI agent was fantastic.
Yeah, from the biggest mob in the world.
I didn't even remember Vera Farmiga was in this, from the Conjuring series. And then I
Oh,
watched it, I was like,
boy.
oh snap, that's Vera Farmiga. And honestly, that first scene with Vera Farmiga was, I know it probably should have started earlier, but that's the first scene where I'm like, oh, this is dirty. I don't know if I should be watching it. Like the first scene with Paul Walker.
Right. So that was an awakening for me.
But you know who I always get her mixed up with, which is funny. Like, I don't literally get them mixed up, but it's like the whole like Chris Rock, Chris Tucker, Bill Pullman, Bill Paxton thing. Is her and the girl from oh god, I love her and I can't think of her name now. From Bridesmaids.
Oh
No, from Bridesmaids.
It's gonna come to
What's
me.
her face?
Not from.
Now it's gone. If someone can look it up, no,
Blonde?
she's also in Knocked Up. She's also in Knocked
The
Up.
blonde.
Yeah, she's
The blonde from Reno
That's
911?
coming up. Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig. Yeah, her Vera Farmiga and Kristen
Really?
Wiig, like their faces are so similar. Yeah, put them
Yeah,
side by
maybe
side.
similar
Vera
skeletons.
Farmiga and
Yeah.
Kristen Wiig. Yeah,
Maybe.
like their build is the same. But I put not a parenting guide in my in my
Yeah.
notes. I was like not a parenting guide because of all the situations they put these kids in. Love John Wayne guy, even though he's an abusive meth head. Like the way that he does that, and the Duke and all this stuff, like, and how he thinks of himself as a cowboy. I love that. I put the most impactful, still to this day, the most impactful scene to me is the playroom. I felt like the playroom.
Yeah,
Oh
dude.
my god.
Jordan, go
Out of
ahead.
nowhere, too.
Yeah.
I was like, that could have been its own movie. Just that
Mhm.
whole dynamic. Not that I wanted to see more of it
Yeah.
at all. I wanted it to end as quickly as possible.
It's
Yeah.
the
But-
creepiest scene, man.
It was like, that was good
Yeah.
horror right there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the playroom.
Yeah.
And then Vera Farmiga should have gotten a little bit more credit. So I watched it on DVD, and you know what that scene is called?
Mm.
It's called A Mother's Intuition, is what the director named that scene.
Nice.
It's called A Mother's
All right.
Intuition. Like, she
All
knew that the kid was there, and she could feel it, like something was odd. There's no pictures. If they're your kids, where are all the pictures? She freaks out.
Yeah.
I put one-liners. The one-liner I really liked, there was 2 of them. They did the MasterCard line, killing an FBI agent, priceless. I'm in the toughest mob in the world, the law.
Yeah.
And then the one that was my
I'm a
favorite
Mac
was
Daddy pimp.
a 14-year-old kid. I didn't do that one, but I did the Paul Walker says that 14-year-old kid took a baseball bat into his dad's room and Mark McGuired the shit out of him.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that was a good line. So after all that, it's a popcorn and a beer. My thoughts are way different than they were when I was an 18-year-old kid, much like Smoking Aces, 19-year-old kid. I was like, when I was young, I was like, this movie is captivating. It's shot very, for me, Requiem for a Dream style was what I saw in it. A lot of Requiem for a Dream type indie film.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely a pop and a beer. definitely doesn't get made today. I'm glad Jordan got to watch it with us for the first time. Experience.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember how awkward it was until I rewatched it. I was like, damn, this is heavy. This is heavy. I was watching this by myself in my dorm room. This is wild.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, speaking of watching it by ourselves, Jordan was the only one that got to see Babylon, which was our butter on top this week, because it doesn't release in England until the 20th of January. So we've got to make sure we're being smooth here with these release dates. So go ahead, Jordan.
All right, Babylon.
Babylon.
The trailer really Babylon. The trailer did it a disservice, especially with its runtime, because people kind of want to have some vague idea of how they'll be spending the next 3 hours of their life.
Yeah.
But the movie was a little self-indulgent. It didn't need to be 3 hours long. Could have been, 2.5
Same
hours
director
long.
of La La Land, man. It's
Really?
going to be self-indulgent.
I didn't watch La La Land. Just gonna throw that out there. Goes a little off the rails. Sometimes, more than sometimes, a lot of the times. But it did have its useful moments when it did, because it slogged a little in the back end. But there's just always enough absurdity going on to keep you in it, I guess. There's a cool snake fight scene. Margot Robbie has a really good meltdown scene at this, snob party. Tobey Maguire introduces you to the asshole of Los Angeles.
Okay.
Once you see the movie, you'll understand what that means. Just very absurd, unique scenes in a movie. It's just all the complete lunacy and debauchery that was old baby Hollywood,
It opens with a shit scene, right?
Yeah.
It opens with a shit scene and an orgy, right?
Yes. Lots of orgies, actually.
Okay.
There's multiple orgies in this movie.
Okay.
Margot Robbie really gives like a best actress worthy performance in the movie. I think she could take it for that one. Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers has a prominent role in the movie, which I love. Love Flea.
Good.
Let's get him in more things. Yes. The more Flea, the better. He also had a cameo in something Star Wars recently, didn't he? Mandalorian?
Yeah, he was in.
Am I wrong?
He was in one of those, yeah.
Or Guardians
For
of the
sure.
Galaxy. Some things. He was in something recently.
Flea is
Loved
in
it.
so many movies. Yeah.
The arc of Manny, the main protagonist, was great for most of the movie. Got a little frustrating kind of in the middle back end there, but it almost fizzled out, but it ended in an endearing way, I guess. The whole movie feels like this is my opinion on it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Old movies look like they freaking sucked. It looks like a Marvel movie probably would have made entire theaters of people spontaneously combust.
Oh yeah,
Just,
dude.
the silent movies, all that. It's like people are cheering and clapping, and I'm like, what are you cheering and clapping? This it looks horrible. I think it was a better movie than what my personal opinion of it was. You might love this movie and I'd understand, and you might really hate this movie and I'd completely understand. I give it a popcorn and a beer and a half.
A beer and a half.
Okay.
Right in the middle. Just right in the middle. It was a movie. It
was
exists.
a movie. Josh, we're running short on time. Do you have any questions?
Questions?
No? Yes? Maybe?
Oh no!
Okay.
We talked about that, but we didn't really prepare any. But briefly, just to your point, my granddad, he's passed now, but he in his last years just only watched old westerns. That's all he'd ever seen for years and years, and he had dementia pretty hard. So one night, for no reason, we just rented Black Panther and watched it all together, and it was his first modern movie he's ever seen, and he literally some drool came out because he had no idea what was going on, and he was just like, "What is this?" Like, "Oh, whoa!" And he was just blown away like a child the first time he sees a Christmas tree. And he's like, "How much money did this movie cost?" And it was incredible. It was an incredible thing to experience.
$1
Because I'm sure he didn't know what CG was, so he thought that was a spaceship. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Yeah. No, I love it. So as we wind down, real quick, All Quiet on the Western Front, as you guys heard, top 3 movie of the year from both myself and Jordan, Popcorn, 3 beers. It will win Best Foreign Film this year at the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
It will 100%, without a doubt, win Best Foreign Film. It will win Best Sound Design, and it will be up for Best Score. The sound design, phenomenal. The use of sound in that movie is eerie. It's chilling. It gives you shivers, goose pimples. But the movie itself, very hard to watch. Like Jordan said, very big trigger warning. It's gory. It's brutal. It is heart-wrenching. It lets you know, it really paints a true light, which is the rich, wealthy, old people will send the young to war as they sit in their glass palace and watch others go to die for them. It really sends that message. But outside of that, guys, it's a slow week in movies. So for our butter on top this week, I've got 3 choices for you guys. I've got Empire of Light, A Man Called Otto, or Megan.
I vote Otto.
Okay, so you got Megan, and you vote Otto. Oh no, I don't want to be the breaker.
We got to have a bad movie, like just a movie we know is going to be bad, and so that we can just crap on it. I mean, sorry, Megan fans out there. I don't know. I feel like sometimes. Okay.
All right,
leave it up to you,
Josh. I'm sorry. I'm going to go Megan then.
That's okay.
We'll blow it up, but I will see both. I will see A Man Called Otto because Josh highly recommended it as well, and then we got Megan this Friday. So that is all I've got for you guys. Our drunk classic this week will be a Renner film for each one of us. I will be watching The Town. Jordan, what will you be watching?
Tag,
and then Josh.
I'll either watch Hurt Locker or every MCU film with him in it.
Just a Marvel binge.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. That is our show. So we look forward to seeing you next week or at the movies with your popcorn and your beer. Thanks so much for joining us again.